The sun sank over Lakeview Pines, bathing my cabin in a glow that made its oceanic blue walls shimmer like my mother's eyes. I'm Nathan Harper, a corporate consultant who clawed through 80-hour weeks to buy this lakeside heaven, fulfilling my mother's dying wish for a blue house by the lake, like hope. But peace was shattered when 3 police cars roared into my driveway, lights flashing like a SWAT raid. Behind them stood Evelyn Crane, self-anointed HOA dictator, pointing at my freshly painted cabin as if I'd defaced a national monument. "Officers, arrest him," she shrieked, clutching her pink clipboard like a scepter. She thought a paint color 2 shades off her chart would force me to sell. She didn't know she targeted a man who dismantles empires for a living. By the time I was done, Evelyn wouldn't just lose her grip, she'd lose everything. The cabin was my mother's dream, born from a faded travel brochure she clutched during her cancer battle. "Blue like hope," she'd said, smiling her last smile. I mixed that oceanic blue myself, every stroke a tribute. But Evelyn Crane, 55, with a haircut screaming authority, emerged from the bushes like a suburban spy. "That color's not approved," she declared, wielding a Pantone device like a weapon. "It's P325 oceanic blue, not P322cc foam green at 2.3% light reflection violation." Her voice dripped with disdain, as if I'd touched the neighborhood soul. I tried reasoning. "They are nearly identical, Evelyn," she gasped, clutching her chest. "Compliance isn't subjective. You're threatening property values." Before I could respond, she was on the phone. 911, "We have a property destruction incident." 20 minutes later, Officers Daniels and Reed arrived, bewildered. "A paint color violation?" Daniels asked. Evelyn launched into a tirade, citing Municipal Code 4.2.7 and demanding my arrest for criminal aesthetic disruption. The officers, desperate to escape, had me sign a violation notice not for breaking laws, but to placate her. As neighbors gawped, I signed, humiliated, Evelyn smacking like she'd won a war. Her pink post-it note, "Welcome to our community, please learn our standards," with a smiley face, was a dagger in my mother's memory. Evelyn's next move was a 5-page violation notice, a bureaucratic masterpiece accusing my paint of causing the glare hazards and aesthetic disharmony. Fines piled up, $100 daily, $500 for community impact, $4,200 to repaint with her contractor, $8,000 total. She launched a social media smear campaign, posting photos of my cabin with captions branding me a community disruptor. Neighbors' likes and comments stung, painting me as a pariah before I'd unpacked. Her daily inspections were relentless, measuring grass at 7 a.m., citing my bird feeder as a vermin hazard, fining my mailbox for being 3.2 inches off. An orange cone blocked my driveway, a fire safety violation she planted. My lawnmower at 10:30 a.m. And a noise complaint. Neighbors crossed streets to avoid me, the community pool emptied when I approached, and kids were yanked indoors as I passed, parents glaring like I was a threat. Evelyn had weaponized conformity, turning my sanctuary into a prison. But not everyone bowed. Clara and Tom Bennett, a retired teacher and nurse, knocked one night, their faces heavy. "Evelyn's driven out 6 families," Clara said. "She's a tyrant, not a leader." They described her targeting the elderly and busy parents, fining them into submission. "Someone needs to stop her," Tom urged. Then Henry Chen, a nervous ex-HOA treasurer, slipped me a folder after dark. "This could ruin her," he whispered, revealing bank records of $111,000 funneled to Evelyn's MW Enterprises LLC for fake landscape and security services. Spreadsheets, invoices, and emails exposed 4 years of embezzlement. "She'll destroy me if she knows," Henry said. I saw my chance. I'd spent 15 years acquiring failing companies, now, I'd acquire an HOA to end her reign. I called my lawyer, James Carter. Set up an untraceable shell company, Lakeview Holdings LLC, I said. We are buying an HOA. James, used to my corporate place, chuckled. A hostile takeover of a neighborhood. That's new. Evelyn's HOA had 23 properties, 23 votes. 12 secured majority control. I targeted the distressed, Miss Ellis, 74, fined for wind chimes, sold her 2 votes for $5,000, relieved to escape. The Wilsons, fleeing Evelyn's harassment, gave 3 votes for $8,000. Spite sale, they grinned. The Browns, stung by a $450 non-fine, sold 2 votes for $6,000. For absentee landlords, tired of our rules, took $2,000 each. By week 4, I had 13 votes, 56.5% control through notarized, legal transfers, all hidden via Lakeview Holdings. Evelyn, oblivious, planned her community standards crisis resolution, a tribunal to seize my cabin via eminent domain, ban me from facilities, and fine me $500 daily. She invited the neighborhood to her victory ceremony, complete with refreshments, blind to the trap closing around her. Friday night, the community center was Evelyn's stage, a mock courtroom with a gavel and brass nameplate. She read a 47-count indictment against me, paint violations, grass height, noise demanding my property seizure. Neighbors gasped at her audacity. When she called for my response, I stood, portfolio in hand, voice calm as a boardroom predator. Evelyn, your evidence is thorough, I said, watching her smirk. But I have documents to your finances. I revealed her embezzlement, $47,000 to MW Enterprises for non-existent landscaping, $23,000 for fake security. Gasps erupted as James distributed proof. Evelyn's face cycled from shock to rage. These are legitimate expenses, she shouted. I smiled. You had no authority, Evelyn. And I control the HOA now. James handed out voting rights transfers, showing my 13-vote majority. I'm the new president. Your board is dissolved. The room exploded. Cheers, tears, applause. Clara shouted, finally, someone with guts. Evelyn collapsed, mascara streaming, screaming, this is terrorism, then bargaining, I repay everything. I cut her off. The negotiation window closed when you tried to steal my home. Evelyn stormed out, slamming the door, shattering a community photo. I announced new policies, cancelled fines, expanded color palettes, no grass rules, democratic elections. The vote was unanimous. Monday, I delivered the evidence to DA Laura Martinez. Charges hit fast: grand larceny, fraud, embezzlement. Evelyn's accounts froze, her home faced foreclosure, and her real estate license was yanked. Media swarmed, her mugshot viral as deputies cuffed her. Neighbors watched her pep walk, her empire dust. She sold belongings at a garage sale, a humiliated shadow of her former self, shunned by former allies. The community bloomed vibrant homes, gardens, a giant flag from the Wilsons. Evelyn's house became the Lakeview Community Center, her living room a meeting hall, her yard a playground. At its opening, kids played, seniors read, and Henry taught finance where Evelyn once plotted. A plaque read, From Control to Community, 2025. The blue cabin, my mother's dream, stood proud. Statewide, the story sparked debates on HOA abuse, pushing new laws. My fence wasn't just a boundary, it was a rebellion. Evelyn thought fear built communities, I proved respected. If you faced a tyrant like her, stand firm. Truth and courage can topple empires, one vote at a time.